Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the unofficial Infinite Cup podcast. This is a very cool interview with Bianca, 44 years young, absolutely inspiring soul. We really had a heart-to-heart conversation. And, this is my style, guys. This is going to be very intuitive. This is not scripted. Everyone that is going to be on this podcast is just going to be inspiring. I want to inspire others with spirituality, health, wellness, everything that is going to motivate you to live your most authentic self. So get ready. It's kind of rough. There's no official release date. This is going to be for YouTube only right now, but I assure you there will be a Infinite Cup podcast. So stay tuned.
This in Slovenia, we voted, and then the country, the politicians had to do it because we have the democracy is different. It's not like president, but it's parliament-driven democracy. Yes. And because it's 2 million people only. Mm-hmm. They have a pressure. They have to do what people want, Mm-hmm. And so we basically voted out that water belongs to Slovene people. And nobody else. You know what I mean? So no corporation can ever take away from us at least water, Yeah. If nothing else, like the wildlife and so on, we're still fighting against like witch hunters that come and want to kill our bears and wild cats and stuff. Yeah. But and another thing that we voted out, and I think I'm really grateful, like the European Union managed to do is to stop testing on animals. Yes. Like for cosmetics at least. Right. This was completely civil initiative. This is like us, petitioning and writing, subscribing to all these petitions and all this stuff. And something that people do not know, actually people after this against cosmetic testing, right, on animals, we actually voted also all vivisection, everything tested. Yeah. But careful, it came to the parliament, it was thrown out of European Parliament. Well, because it was imagine now the pharmaceutical companies cannot test anything on animals anymore, on so mice and on monkeys and so on. So this was a little bit higher, and I think this was a little bit too much. They gave us something. Gave us something. We also managed to like cosmetic detergents and all this stuff. Good. As like what they do to these animals in labs.
I'm in California in the United States, which is a very, I feel like California is very different than the whole rest of the United States. There's like, agreed. For example, I think about fur farms and things too, as far as that, not just testing, but animals completely being grown just for, coats and stuff. So California finally passed that, and we're not doing, fur sales. See what I mean? So like you're talking about, we finally get these little glimpses, and for me what this tells me is that humanity is awakening to higher consciousness, because it's just a very simple concept of like, okay, I'm not going to kill this animal for this need. It's like we don't have to do that anymore. In yoga, I understand it because there's nothing new, and it's just it's like a circle, and we're like right here on the circle in this ascending age. We're rising up. And the Dark Ages, like we talked about earlier, was like the rock bottom, Man only lived to like age 40 if he was lucky. Maybe you made it to your teens or 20 if you were lucky. And now what? People are living past 100, 150, no problems. Like we just hear about it. It's actually very common. So if you, go fast forward another 20 years, we're going to be living at 200 and 250. And that's because of the evolution, on the planet and the energy that is available to us that we're tapping into. And the cool part is, I know anybody that's, even tried fruitarianism, or anybody that's even, into the stuff that we're talking about, has had many lifetimes on this earth, because this is something that you're kind of just picking up where you left off, and it's not really a new concept. Once you start doing it, you're like, oh, this is very familiar to me,
Exactly. True. Very true. You nailed it. I love that you just said that.
Well, it's because this thing that we're doing now is new. This industrial, cosmetic, pharmaceutical thing is very, small and very new in the term of, humanity. So, in my opinion, that experiment is over. Meaning, people are tired of it. People don't want the pharmaceuticals anymore. They're tired of the toxicity. They're tired of feeling like crap and being slaves to their job and everything else. So it's 2019, and there's more options now than ever, whether it's financial or health or, it's diet or anything. So I think people are hungry for it. They're tired of that old way of thinking, and they're hungry for something new. And the thing that I want to hone in with this conversation is, your body has to be prepared for that energy, you know? So for me, it's, you know, I was so toxic through the, you know, just the toxic foods growing up that it took literally about 5 years of just hardcore detoxing before I even felt good. See what I mean? And a lot of people, I feel like, you know, blame me for being skinny or talk smack for doing all these things in the beginning because you have to build that foundation.
You have to go through that.
You do. And I think people don't understand that part. You know, for me, my foundation was built on something that was not sustainable. It wasn't stable. So my energy was all over the place, you know? And now that I took the time and really figured it out, I literally dedicated that time of my life just to that. And now the foundation that I have is amazing. And I'm like you, I have a lot of work to do still in sulfur and things that are getting out. But it's crazy how profound the changes are once you have that how do I say this? Once you have that something to compare it to, like I wish I would have started taking pictures of my eyes when I was like 15 or 12. Like I so wish.
Long time ago.
Like
Me too.
Like I really do because they were probably almost brown. I have no idea, you know? And I look at my eyes in the mirror now and I get excited, you know? I get like excited. And it's not about, I have a 6-pack or whatever, but that's not what it's about, you know? I'm about that vitality. No. I'm about that energy. You know, I can talk to you like this all day and people get annoyed from it, you know, because they're just right here all the time, you know?
This is really interesting that you mentioned this because I married a brown-eyed guy and now I have a blue-eyed guy. You know what I mean? It's hilarious. And like this I would never believe it if I would not see it, you know. But it's interesting like how you change what you eat, how that expands everything, you know. And but be careful because I have some people, I mean women, men, so on, just some people like you, we just connected immediately. You know, like it's just, you know, because we're probably this vibrations are similar. But I have some people that just come to me and start yelling at me how I'm killing people with his fruits and so on. I had this, you know, like how we're dangerous, how we're and like they just cannot go on this level. And you can try and explain, you can plant a seed, you know, hopefully. I mean, I see this negativity and this stuff also as a learning experience for them because they even encounter or see somebody, they meet somebody like us, right? It's already like, you know, some kind of like kick in their stomach, you know, like, oh, wait a minute.
It threatens them.
Crazy people.
I get it. I get it. I get it more. I got my first like official hate email even, you know, it's like people spend time to write that out, you know, and it's like, of course I didn't read it and put my energy field into that. But what I'm saying is I understand it and I have more compassion than ever for these people because they are very toxic. And when the mind has so much energy and repression like that, I totally understand. So those people, what it is, it's the old self trying to hang on. That's what it is. Trust me, if I could eat pizza right now and go, I would, but I can't. It's like I've tried. It's like not possible. You see what I mean? It's just not possible. My intelligence it's just not possible. Trust me, I really wish I could.
You tried. So my thing is like because I've been like really detoxing like 2 years, and you can like I was not even like I didn't even have a lot of parasites, you know, being vegetarian child, you know, and then vegan for so long, I didn't really have a lot of stuff in my belly. My main problem is what I inherited, and basically this is lymphatic stagnation. And my eyes used to be like, I don't know if you can see, but like they used to be like white. And now they're becoming blue, like darker blue. Like I can see basically like lines coming in. And I always thought I had like even bad genetics because my grandma died from autoimmune thyroid disorder at age 50. Okay. And she just something happened, and like in 3 days she was dead. And nobody understands what happened. And believe it or not, I think that doctors gave her some wrong
It happens a lot.
Cocktail.
It happens, yes,
you know?
Yes.
You know, and like her organs started like, she would have to like basically clean this lymphatic stagnation, unclog the kidneys, you know, all that stuff that we do. And it'll be done 1 to 3 in a couple of months. She would be okay. She would survive. She would probably live until 100. And I look at my eyes, I'm like, what the heck? I have like almost like, you know, like those blue eyes that like Dr. Morse always shows an example as like good genetics. I have that almost there, you know, like I see my lines being so nice and clear, but they're all covered with this white, you know, grayish thing. And now slowly, like I can see this like radius, like, you know, clearing up, and it's unbelievable. But we do have like a little break now, because we know in June we're gonna go probably all fruits, like really, like, because to me quality of fruits, if I don't have good quality of fruits, it's just I don't feel almost like eating. Then I'm already like, okay, I'm gonna have like some vegetables and stuff, you know, because that's probably higher energy than all these fruits that I can get in like, you know, these big stores.
Same way.
Yeah, and especially like organic, if you can't get organic. One thing that now that I'm in Slovenia, like in Croatia, they still have on the island Vis, that it's completely isolated in the sea. They have miracle citruses, old style citruses. They're so small. They're so small, filled with seeds. They taste so sweet. They become like reddish, all kinds of things. But like for juicing, they're unbelievable. And I just ordered like 10 kilos, you know, to have some, because it's the season is at the end, and everybody wants them who's fruitarian in Slovenia. You know, they're unbelievable. The power of these, like, you know, if I go on juicing on that, like maybe 2-3 days, like let's say, like just to try it out, I tried it out to see the power of that. I couldn't believe it. This was like immediate like a level up, you know, in the way how I function, how I talk to people. Like you just become unbreakable. Also 100%. To these negative energies, they don't even come to you. Like I felt like those 3 days, like there's some kind of blockage in a way, and that you know, there's some kind of like a I don't know, vibe around me that like only positive people came through. And all this negativity that I normally get, where I eat vegetables and I maybe have like some raw pizza or something like that, raw of course, you know, these people don't even come to you then. That's unbelievable how you vibe completely differently with this beautiful, pure, and I bet that these citruses has been there like for hundreds of years.
That's
you know,
that's like almost 100% of my desire when I travel, because that's what I go for. And me and my fiance went to Asia for the same thing. And it's, you have to go to these countries that are, you know, less contaminated. And it's really interesting. I know you wrote an article too about the things that are happening in Bali for the same things. It's really interesting seeing this education come to the mainstream, right, through medical media. Because Robert Morris, I think, is still very smart. He's doing so much work, but I don't think he's ever going to get big, you know, like medical media. Commercial big,
because it's too advanced.
It's too advanced, yeah.
You know, it's not commercial enough. This is something, you know, that when you come to medical medium, right?
Yeah.
Like my husband was doing medical medium, bought all his books and everything, but like as soon as I started reading about the supplements and stuff, this really turned me off. Like really, like not even supplements, but it's isolated things.
Yeah, I know,
right?
And it's very. I agree. Yeah, it's weird. It's
you know,
weird.
To come back to the supplements, because I didn't answer, right? For me, like I see the magic of this wholeness, right? The magic of the fruit wholeness, and we cannot, we don't have enough science developed to understand what is going on when you eat fruits, because you know that the water from the fruit knows exactly where to go, that it goes into your cell. All these minerals, enzymes. This is like, you know, the whole army of the inside the fruit working for you, and because this was supposed to be for us. And you know, like it's just basic fact that we digest fruits in like 10 minutes sometimes, you know, when this water content. What does this tell you? And like something animal product stagnates in your belly for like 2 days. Like this is basic logic. This is nothing, no magic there.
Nothing. I don't
this
care.
Is not me. I'm not like, you know, I'm not hippie. You know what I mean? Like when people like look at me like this, sometimes they see I'm different, you know, they feel that I'm different. But when they start talking to me, they see, oh, okay, she's very different, but also like us, you know, like kind of.
You're tapped in. I just call it being tapped in, meaning you either get it or you don't. I mean, I have nothing to defend. I have nothing to prove. And it's not about that. Like, even this video, I just want to help people, because I know when we post this, somebody's going to watch it and they're going to be inspired, you know, and that's just that simple, you know. Back to the fruit, for me, the biggest concept with that is the seasonality. You know, I think a lot of people, because of our current, international delivery system and everything. People are eating oranges when they shouldn't be, and eating things. And I think that's because I after the farm, I went and got a job at like a grocery store to really learn the retail side of this. I had to figure it out for myself, and I've learned so much. Oh my gosh! Basically, our food is at the grocery store is for money. It's not for nutrition. For example, spinach. Something as simple as spinach. There are just hundreds of varieties of spinach, but we choose that one variety that can sit on the shelf and stay there in a package for a long time instead of the other one.
True.
So it's just what I realize is it's not meant for us as human in our development. It's more so just for profit. And when I figured that out, I had to go back to the farm and grow the things for myself that I know are actually nutritious, way more than the stuff that you can even find at the store. I mean, I think about the Inca civilization. I think about civilizations that had like 2,000 varieties of potatoes, right? Something like that.
Right, exactly.
And now we can only think about maybe 5 or 6. So it's
and also citruses. There's millions. Like here, this is something that in Croatia on the islands, like they're like left away from civilization a little bit. You will find fabulous citruses and fabulous fruits.
Yes.
I didn't even know they exist.
Exactly.
And the grapes, how they used to be.
Yes.
The grapes, right? Here in Slovenia, we have 400-year-old wine, like a wine tree, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna get one. I'm telling you, because actually you can buy it and you can plant it and try and get the grapes out of it.
Yeah, you can.
I have to actually plug in my computer because the power is out.
Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Sadly, I can't power it with my with my fruit powers. Just a second. It just reminded me, like I was working properly and I didn't plug it in, and now it's calling. Are you having fun? There we go. Here we go. Back in action. I have headphones because I felt like it's easier to get like a higher quality volume,
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, the fruit, I'm just curious, I want to ask you, so what's the, I know you do coaching and you do some clients, you see, and to me, that's my biggest thing for feedback on what, people can handle and what works and what's more approachable, because obviously it's not always going to be on an individual basis, a one-on-one basis. Everybody wants some miracle herb blend or something, and it just doesn't work that way. I get all those questions.
There's no shortcuts.
There's no shortcuts, and it's always going to be a one-on-one. And I don't want to generalize anything here, but I'm just curious, through everybody that you've seen and all the eyes and things, every picture of eyes that I see, I learn something new. Every single one. Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing is like we're all the same, but we're all like completely different as well.
Yes.
Right? Somehow fruits do work, especially if you have high quality fruits. Like all the miracle, when you pull the person pretty much out of the graveyard. I had situations like that with like older people who are like cancers all over their spines, everywhere. I can tell you the miracle recoveries are basically thanks to the miracle fruits.
Yes, I agree.
This is what I see. High energy, fresh from the trees, old kind of fruits, I had this lady, 72, doctors pretty much sent her home to die because she came even too late, so they didn't even have time for chemo or anything, which was working in my
that's a
advantage.
Good thing. Yeah.
They sent her home and said like, a couple of weeks and she's going to be gone. And her granddaughter contacted me. She's from Austria in Graz, and she said like, I don't know what to do. She's actually studying nutrition as well. But she said like, Bianca, I'm too scared. You got to help me. You got to try something. We have nothing to lose. We have to try something. And I come and actually saw this lady. She lost her memory. She was like that in a wheelchair, completely like not there.
Yeah.
And I looked through the window. Like first thing was like, citruses because it's astringent and so on. But then I looked through the window and I asked her, is this your apples? And this was like, she said, yeah, this is old apples. They grow here already for like hundreds of years. They were here before we even came here and whatnot. It's like, okay. And it was exactly September. So I told her, okay, this is it. This is it. This is what we're going to use. Yep. So let's take all these apples, juice them, and give to your grandmother for a whole month, just apple juice.
Good.
All right. I told him like at least a gallon so she doesn't starve, you know.
Yeah.
And it was really tough beginning. It was really tough beginning. They were freaking out because, you know, poor lady was throwing up, diarrhea, this, that, like, you know, like feeling horrible, getting rash, everything. But somehow, you know, this you know, she has nothing to lose, right? So we were going to try. And I explained to them, this is because her body is fighting. It's trying to get all these toxins out. And I'm going to tell you, that was last September. The same lady now, they're telling me she has better memory than all of them. And she's working in this garden, taking care of these apples. You know, she's basically completely normal back, 100% healed.
So awesome.
You know, like she actually, her daughter actually called me like what was 3 days ago, and she said like, listen, like her you know, she was eating a little bit of vegetables more and so on, and her feet are like swelling up. I was like, well, you know, your body's probably collecting water, trying to fix some kind of toxins there. Don't worry too much about it. You know, it's like, I know, I'm not worried, you know, but like I got to tell her to go back more on fruits and not just eat a vegetable. But, you know, they have their own vegetables, so they started eating that because the season is not there. I mean, in May, it becomes so easy.
Exactly.
You know?
I like to look at it throughout the year, you know what I mean? When I started working on farms and stuff, even my sense of time changed. I don't think of like the 24 hours in the day. I think about seasons and the whole year. And when I plan for things, or I think about which foods and why. Like, I don't eat oranges in the summer. You know what I mean? Like, I won't touch them. You know, it's just one of those things where.
Same here. Same here.
And if I see a papaya or something here, I would rather fly to Hawaii or fly somewhere and go eat those fruits and enjoy it there than to waste my money and time here, you know, on all the stuff because of the quality issues and blah, blah, blah. This is a really good story that you mentioned, because my thing that I tell people a lot is it's never too late. You know, I think people, what I see is it comes down to willpower, you know, and that when you describe that woman, you know, in the beginning, she was checked out. Her spirit was somewhere else because her body was so toxic. See, that's the thing is the body is so smart. Like, it's way smarter than any intelligence we could ever comprehend.
100% agree with you.
Oh my gosh. And if you just get the mind out of the way and let the body do its thing, I mean, for me, I really, my goal with all of this and what I'm doing is to have like a retreat center where I can bring people and actually do it in person. And because that's really what I did when I went to Hawaii, and that's where my, you know, switch turned on, because you're walking in the gardens every day, you're having green juice, you're just doing it every day, and it's like just normal instead of something, you know, as like a retreat or something, you know what I mean? It's like really when you incorporate it into your daily life and it becomes a habit, that's really where the sustainable,
that starts working.
That's really
it's correct. And sometimes I even don't put people on 100% fruits because you want to build it up and you want to enable them to stick to that, right? Exactly. For 2 years, 3 years. And talking about the retreats, like that's what we're going to do also in Barcelona. I will keep it small, you know, I want to keep it small, like maybe 2 people per month, because it's also energy. Like
it is.
When you have really ill people, you know, like being like a Reiki practitioner as well, to me it's like so much energy goes into that, and you're basically giving your life energy to these people and convincing them, and in the beginning is always very hard, right? And then once they start eating the right food, their vibe goes up and it's easier, right? They understand what you're telling them.
Those lights turn on. I can see it energetically. I can see these lights turn on in the body. And what I found too is that it's body awareness, and those levels, they don't stop. It doesn't stop. I'm controlling things in my body that I never knew I could control before, and that's what inspires me every single day, you know? Whether it's simple muscle control or just I can start to control different sphincters in my, you know, throat and things like I'm saying, the awareness, right, that I have with my body is just amazing. When I'm looking back to, you know, to the toxicity and the irritable bowel syndrome and everything that I had, there was no connection to my body. Like, it was just not there. I didn't know, like I literally,
you didn't,
you know, I thought having that pain was normal, you know, on a day-to-day basis. See, and that's the body is so smart. It adapts to that, you know, and just thinks that it's normal.
Well, to me, another thing that happened to me that it's like with it completely that I don't know how to explain differently, but it has to be food that I consume. it's also intuition. Like, for instance, I can tell at other things what is going to happen now.
Yes.
And I can predict things, and also I feel the energies that are coming, and I can prepare myself. Okay, this is going to be an obstacle, or this is going to be like a great thing. Like, let's go for a ride. And this, you know, like, and also my husband and myself, we knew about 3 months up front. We, like, at some, like, I don't even remember, one night at like midnight, we looked at each other and we just said something amazing is going to happen. Okay. And we didn't know what's going to happen, you know. And then he landed a new job in Barcelona that's amazing. Nice. We're moving to the place that has a lot of delicious fruits, you know, that I can actually grow some stuff, you know. And, you know, this new being, the rescue that we had that came in. So a lot of beautiful things happen. So cool. Also hard, you know, we had to organize our lives, you know, moving from Germany to Spain is not that easy. Very different culture, very different everything. But and also, like, I'm going to have to learn 6th language. I was like, at 44 years old. You know, he speaks on Spanish. He speaks on Spanish because his mom and dad speak Spanish, and they traveled a lot when he was a kid, you know, from Boston to, I know, Cuba and all this stuff. His dad was really traveling a lot. But for me, it's a new language, you know, like I'm like, okay, Slovene, Croatian, you know, German, English, Italian, you know, and I'm hoping that Italian is close enough to Spanish for me to absorb this, you know, but I'm probably not going to be as much exposed as my husband will be. So, like, it's going to be a little bit slower process, but I'm excited, you know, like, okay, I'm like a little bit older lady, but like, whatever. I'm going to learn new language, you know, and I'm so excited about it.
You look so
you know,
good.
And yeah, thank you so much. You're like to me, it's like I started to notice, like, when I was younger, I looked older. You know, like when I was maybe 14, let's say 16, you know, I looked like 25 almost, you know, I looked older. But then as I start switching with the diet, you know, at 20, people would think that I'm like way younger, you know, and the main difference started being noticeable when 35. This is when I would go to high school reunions or something like that, and I would like look at the people, and I was like, oh my God, like, is it just me? And like, and I never had like, I watched too many of these botched kind of shows on, you know, on TV or something, because I'm like scared of these chemicals being shot in me, you know, and like, you know, maybe I can fix a little bit here, like maybe I can start to look back in my 25 instead of 35, you know, but at the same time, like, I'm too scared to do this because I know what these chemicals can do. And also had a lot of clients with the breast implants and fillings. This is incredible what this does to body and what it does to the human, you know, the females, and how much these women suffer. You know, some of them get lucky and nothing happens. But I got to tell you, about like 50% or more, based on my observations, have problems. You know, and these toxins are coming, and then, I mean, I don't understand, like, then you just take the stuff out, you know, like, I understand you want to have, like, beautiful plump breasts and, you know, like, attract men, but at the same time, the right guy is not going to look at your physical body. This is great if you look good, but this health really comes from inside, and also the right man is going to vibe with you. It's the same energy. This is the guy you want, not the guy that is going to go and look at your boobies and your booty and, like, you know, you know, like, this is something that you know, it took some time, you know, like, I still this is crazy, because I still have friends who are fruitarian and raw vegan, and they still tell me, like, oh, I gotta go and fix this stuff. Wouldn't you want to, like, fix a little bit your lips and a little bit of this? I'm like,
it's I don't want to,
you know, like,
it's weird.
It sells better. You sell yourself better, you know, like, they basically put a pressure on me because, you know, you have all this knowledge and you're so knowledgeable about this, and you really know how to, this fountain of youth, you really understand this stuff. So why not promote yourself a little bit better? Put a little thing here and a little thing here, and get, like, all the fake teeth, because you know your teeth are not perfect, and it's a lot of pressure even on me.
I believe it.
You know, even in this fruitarian community, you know, that we're supposed to be all about organic,
it's so
natural.
Interesting. You know, to be honest with you, I am really turned off by it, and it's something that it's not like everybody. I don't judge everybody. What I'm saying is the people, and when I got into, I don't know, let's see, this was like 5 or 6 years ago, and because no joke, I've literally seen this, like, you eat cooked food. like that. You see what I mean? Like a level of judgment extreme. That I have, like, that was so intense that it turned me off. And thankfully, you know, I didn't let that turn me off of fruit. What I'm saying is, all of that energy went to their, you know, ego. It didn't go to their soul or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's really interesting how I feel like this has happened in a lot of people, you know. I don't know whether it's Instagram or social media in general. Maybe it's so beautified, you know. Like, I think fruitarianism is very much this, you know, beauty, skin, you know, thing. And like I said, my calling is, you know, the inside, like what you're talking about. This is very, you know, temporary. That's just the shell of what we're talking about here. So when you really get past that, you're going to open up big time. And that's what happened to me. And I think people are going to tap into that no matter what. It's just an evolution. It just is. And I just think people, I don't know if it's just the label itself or what it is, but it's something that triggers people. You know, it creates a roadblock for people. And I don't want there to be a roadblock. I just want people to eat more fruit, you know.
Exactly. Like eat your cooked foods and whatever you're eating, but add more fruit slowly, and you know, the vibe is going to start rising, and they're going to start changing and seeing how their body's changing. One thing I wanted to tell you about being skinny, right? I mean, especially on detox, I was way skinnier than I'm now. You know, when you go into your really deep level, and same happened to my husband. But after like this big detox, you're still lean. I'm still lean. I feel great that way.
That's your body type. You have the same body type in me. In yoga, we call it vata. It's just the body type. I'm not going to be that 250-pound, you know, guy. Like, it's just never going to happen.
Without putting special protein power, like, that will destroy your kidneys and livers, right? But the funny part is, like, my dad was really funny because we were supposed to, like, turn around the earth on the garden, and it's a huge garden, and he was like, and I said, like, I'll do it. You know, you got to go with the shovel and really turn around the whole piece of earth. And he says, you're gonna fall apart. Look at you, how you're skinny. Like, no way. I was like, watch me go. I did it in a couple of hours. He would not believe it. How strong I am. Like, I'm like, these cells are like, this is so strong. You know, we're lean, but we're so strong physically.
Yes. I'm just saying, the way that I look at it, people are obsessed with, like, a bicep or something, but really there's these tiny little muscles, like, everywhere, you know, in the body, and those are not activated. And that's why I don't believe in the gym and stuff, because you're just doing this thing that's, like, you know, targeting one muscle. And when you're doing, like, farming or just, you know, real life stuff, you know, you're really targeting your whole body, and you're activating those little tiny muscles in your hands and wrists and things that aren't activated if you're just doing push-ups all day or just the conventional exercises.
I think it comes all the way to the cellular level, right? That the cell is already so strong and able to be so flexible, you know, the cell itself, right? It has this energy that you cannot destroy that easily. Another thing that I noticed, I used to sprain ankles, like, probably 20 times a year. Like, I would just step wrong and my ankle would just go, and then I had to have this, you know, rubber things on there and all this stuff. And now, like, I do extremely, you know, like, this young pit bull girl, you know, she wants to play, and like, it's, you know, I'm lifting up, like, what is 18 kilos, like that, you know, all the time, and throwing around and everything. And I step weirdly so often into the holes in the ground, you know, in the woods and so on, and I'm like 100% sure, oh my god, I'm gonna sprain my ankle. Nothing happens. Like, it just doesn't happen. It's like my ankles and my whole everything, joints and everything, became so much stronger. And, like, if I wouldn't live in this body and experience this, I would say, you're lying. You're, like, bullshitting me here right now. But I'm experiencing this body, and I see the difference, you know, like, these little things. Or, like, I would have, like, tons of, like, cold sores, you know, little stress, cold sore, fungus on my nails, like, all kinds of things that you know, like, my skin was like, you wouldn't believe it. I would get acne everywhere. I was scared to step outside my home without makeup because people would get scared of me. You know, like, that's how my kidneys were not functioning, you know, and this third kidney, skin, had to take over this whole action, cleaning all this crap out of me. And it's unbelievable how all this changed, like, and everything at the same time, you know, slow progress. And I'm telling you, like, I do still have a lot of work to do, especially my eye and teeth, but the changes incredible.
Yes.
You know, and also like what, you know, like this whole perception, this whole culture, like we're living in a world that is very much like into obese, right? We don't even know the standard of what is lean and what is healthy. It's kind of like this balance is lost because media is pumping us, right? That we have to look, you know, like if you look like, for instance, people look at me and they say like, they compare me with Kardashians, like, where's your butt? Where's your boobs? I'm like, and you know, I don't even have a body like that, right? I'm not even like, I'm lean and tall. Like I can't like
her body's
cut away
fake
my
anyway,
legs.
so nobody should like, you know what I mean? It's plastic, so it's like, I don't know, it's just crazy. If it was natural, then maybe we could have that conversation, but it's like, why compare yourself to something that's artificial, you know?
It's basically like me, you know, this is my little secret. I wanted to be a reconstructive plastic surgeon. That's why I'm so interested in that, you know? I still have passion for it. I even like watch the shows like when they like put apart people and when something goes wrong with the plastic surgery. I'm still very interested in that, you know. but like the chemicals and the stuff that they do to human body, and you know, like people don't even understand that like when you get the anesthesia, what happens to your brain? They basically turn off your brain. At any time when you're into surgery, your brain can just stop working and you don't come out really how you were before. For me, like I had one surgery in my life and I felt completely different afterwards. I had to detox all that stuff out and bring back the liveliness into my brain. I swear to God, that's what happened. You know?
100%. I'm lucky that I haven't had that, and I could tell you stories too, and it's what I call self-surgery. I totally believe in my intuition. I've had extreme health issues that I should have been in the hospital many times, and I chose to not go and to meditate and to fast and to just leave me alone, you know, because that's my path, and I believe in that. And I know it's radical and extreme compared to others, but at the end of
that's what animals do.
But that's what animals do, and we are animals. And I look at it like, what's the other option? You see, I'm not going to choose a chemical. That's the craziest part with chemotherapy or any chemical-based thing, is it's not nature. It's not, you know, we don't have to get religious or talk about God or anything, but it's not natural in the sense of what our body, you know, resonates with. So of course it's not going to produce the outcome that we want. So it's just really interesting how our culture has these, you know, values that are supposed to be in nature, supposed to be in tune with the earth and things, and then we go and take this chemical that's only, you know, invented 20, 30 years ago. So it's, you know, it's very just interesting when you look at it like that. And when I figured that out, like I said, I have my own choices to make, and everybody, I could tell you a story. I had a, you know, infection in my tooth, my whole face swelled up, and people are looking at me like, you should go to the hospital. And I said, just leave me alone, just let me do my thing, you know, because I have faith. At the end of the day, that's really what I think what people need more of is that faith. And thank God
in your own body, your own body,
just your own body. You know? Yeah, that's it. That's it. And
trust your body.
That's it. And when you go to that doctor or whatever, that, you know, that power center, you're literally giving your power away to somebody else. Yes. That energy is now in somebody else's hands, and you put that, you know, 100% into them. So it's something where as soon as that happens, you know, you've severed your own energetic connection and you've given it to somebody else. So I, you know, realized that a long time ago, and I just didn't want to make that choice, you know, and I wanted to bring, you know, keep my own energy here. And what's funny is I have Alaska to thank for this, because I don't know if you know much about it, but Alaska's very, you know, wild, very wild. I'm talking
extreme.
I had to drive, you know, I lived there seasonally since 2011. I drive 3 hours to go to the grocery store. That's it, 3 hours away. So it's like there is no option, you know, and I love it. You know why? Because when that option isn't there, you forage food, you go outside, you are in tune with nature. You see what I mean? And now I think if I were to blame things, I don't blame humans. I'd never blame humans, because that spark, that soul is within all of us. It doesn't matter how toxic you are or dark or anything. People, I always just blame environment, because if you take that person out, like it's the refrigerator that's killing you. It's your toilet not letting you have that proper bowel movement. You know what I mean? Like just very simple things in our everyday life that are convenience is overriding our health. You know, that's where I stand on it. And if you just take your, you know, human self and put it in the right environment, you're going to thrive. You're going to, those things in your body are going to get turned back on. The lymphatic system is going to start working. The kidneys are going to get, it's just a matter of time. And I trust that process. I really do, because I've experienced it. I've shared this experience with others, and it's very easy when you actually get that rhythm and, you know, kind of have it as a step-by-step process like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting to me. Like, I'm a little bit, not fan of, animal eaters, right? Like, this is something where I kind of become like, I just don't understand them. Maybe because I never did that, like, since I was a kid, because I just have this compassion really in my cells almost,
right? You are so lucky for that. Yes.
But when it comes to like just people who are like junk vegans or whatever they are, I do have extreme compassion for them, because I feel that, like, at least they're thinking about something that is bigger than them. They're thinking about the animals, they're thinking about the planet. Somewhat they're waking up. And I know they're going to be waking up, because it's like, it comes from the love. It comes from the source of love that is the highest emotion. And these people will come there. Just give them time. They will come there, so that's why I'm not against all these, like, vegan corporations even, they're inventing all this, like, plant-based burgers and all this stuff. Like, fine, like, it's fine to me, This is like transition food, and we're all gonna get there. And I rather see them booming and exploding and selling a million gazillion of, like, bean burgers or whatever they have to sell, than for instance this really cruel, very, very backwards, industries that meat and dairy industry. And another thing, if you see with these YouTubers and influencers, what I don't understand, and this is why I made a video about that, like, that I'm editing right now. To me, what I don't understand, and at the same time I do understand, they go from this really, really extreme, like, eating just vegetables or whatever, or water fasting for months, into eating like salmon and eggs, right? But I know what happened in between. There's a million gazillion way things to eat. Greed happened, right? This is no way that this person would all of a sudden invent all these illnesses and then eat a piece of salmon for dinner, and then awake next day, all of their problems are gone. I mean, and then, like, they're explaining about their sex drive and, like, sexual things. I mean, fish, if you just, the smell of the fish is like something that goes against the sex drive, to me it's like, if the fish would smell so good and be so good for me, then I would leave, like, a rotting fish outside in my home for, like, a beautiful smell. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. And it's really just, I agree with you 100%. And what's funny, going back to Alaska, like, I know people who, have never tasted cow their whole life. Like, they literally hunt and fish every day, And I have a lot of respect for these people, And I believe in karma, and I believe in these things. I have no judgment towards anybody and what they eat. But just since we're on this, influencer and the recent ex-vegan thing and all that, those people, if they're paying somebody else to do, you know what I mean? Like, if
the dirty deed for them.
Like, at the end of the day, if it really was about your health or whatever, wouldn't you want to be the one to actually go there? Because if it's healthy, that fish should be swimming when you get, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same concept.
Exactly.
But it's that part is totally missed. You see what I mean? And I'm the person who's seen it, like, in Alaska every day. These people that just, because why? There is no McDonald's. There is no fast food of any kind. And that's what you have as an option, And it's not like they're toxic or anything like that. I'm just saying, what, like you said, it's greed. If we were to put it in a simple answer, it's just greed. And when you put those, your, how do I say this? Your desires in front of, someone's life, that's called karma. That's like, it's not going to create a harmonious, energy response. It's going to create something where you have to take action again. And I don't think people are looking at that. And it's funny because it's really only a matter of time, because I know this from a farmer's perspective. Like, fruits and vegetables don't make money. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not something that's like cool and like, flamboyant and beautiful. It's not as exciting as all those other things, And from my perspective, I understand that. So yes, of course, when you eat a piece of fish, you're going to get an erection and have all these things because you're just, I get it physically, and it's just sad that they have to, make those choices to create those energy in their own body. And it's like, those problems are like the last thing on my mind. Like, if you really have a problem with your sex drive and things, like, I just don't,
But it's stimulant. It's a stimulant for adrenals.
Of course.
And then when it comes down to it, it's the same as like, Chinese, they go to Vietnam and they catch these tigers and all these beautiful exotic animals. And because they want to put pieces of their penis into their, food, because that's going to give them erection. This is the same thing, it's almost, we're talking about the same, like behind this energies that just don't work. It doesn't work that way.
It is.
I think we are so, and yet, like, to me, it brings us really down to some primitive level where that we would have to already long time be forgotten, eating each other, right? Eating each other, eating humans. This is the same. And when I explain to people, like, just give them like the picture in their heads, when you kill the animal, basically what starts, the body starts degrading, like it's falling apart. The same as when after you kill a human, it falling apart, and there's nothing in there anymore. So and this, all these spices and everything what you add, this makes it and actually edible. But like just sometimes I feel that like I want to be smarter, but you cannot explain all this stuff. This is just the beginning, that we will connect otherwise as well.
I agree.
So and also with our planet, and I'm like really hoping that this positive vibe and this positive vibration, and I think that's maybe why we here even, like course, maybe 100%. We're not even supposed to come here, and we decided to come here to experience the shift and to help it happen, right?
Of course,
because
to bring people along. Come on down.
Because this is so important time, like if it really depends on us, because if you look at all what we're seeing, by sea life is going to be gone by 2048. Okay, this is and this is not even like, this is based on how we observe like what is happening right now with this massive fishing and what are we doing to the ocean life. And once the ocean life is all out, and of course then the plastic that is floating everywhere, once this is gone, we're going to have war for resources. We're going to have war for survival. And maybe this has to happen, and some of us will know how to survive, because I'm thinking like, if we can survive on fruits, we can also survive from some kind of little moss and some couple in insects, like that. This is preparing us to something, maybe even, but this shift will have to happen. Otherwise, we will not survive as a species.
I agree.
There's no way,
I agree.
And nature will turn against us. Like this is no way that we can be smarter and more and more, You
totally hit the nail on the head. Yeah, you totally hit the nail on the head, because you're 100% right. I feel like the common consciousness is, the triangle, and man thinks he's above nature. And it wasn't for me, circling back to Alaska, because Alaska, has bears, right? We're talking about wild animals, bears, moose, 15-foot tall animal. I'm just every day.
Beautiful.
So when you step outside your door and you see a bear, your life is endangered, right? You just went from the top of the totem pole down to here, right? And it's so humbling. I can't tell you how humbling that experience is. I've seen, I've been very close with wild animals. I love it, because it puts you in that place. It puts you where you're supposed to. We're not on the top. No way. We are shepherds. We're supposed to really condone this earth and make it, flourish. And what have we done? The exact opposite. I think over 150 species have gone extinct in the last, 100 years, just from us being alive, So it's really something where, yes, we are switching that mindset to how can we preserve and protect, rather than just, rape and pillage, basically, is what we've been doing this whole time, especially here in our country. So I see it happening, and it's really funny. I always circle back to environment, because a place like Alaska, it's just normal. Like, you don't even think about it, But if you come here to California, it's like that there's no bears, there's nothing in that environment to put you into your place, you know what I mean? So
to put respect, like this is about the respect, right? That you respect other earthlings, and you understand that actually they are superior to us in many ways. They're stronger, they see better, they hear better, and we should show respect and be humbled by that, right? And this is exactly like in Slovenia, we have bears as well. We have bears, and this is like the last bears in Europe, and the wild cats and all these beautiful wild animals. And to me it's like this is like it's so funny, because to me that is the real value of the country. How much of this natural beings priceless. They have, and also plants, right? Like to preserve the certain plants, like I told you, like this old kind of fruits plants, like fruit trees, you know, that we have to really protect that. And I'm really hoping that people become aware how precious that is, and we just really stand up together and just fight for this, you know. And like honestly, my favorite country on the planet is US. And not, I'm gonna tell you, it's like a hate and love thing. I love American people. Love American people. They're innovative. They're like, you know, there's anomalies popping out. There's beautiful people that are awakening all over that country where so much repression and so much greed-driven, capitalism-driven, you know, things. And then you have these strong people like yourself just awakening and bringing this, you know, it's like a wave that you put out, you know, and there's more and more people putting out these beautiful waves. And that's why it's one of my favorite countries. But at the same time, I hate American system, which is like government and, you know, all this stuff. And I feel that some kind of revolution has to happen, you know. And if anywhere it's going to happen right there in US. And Europe will follow. I mean, we're already happening, you know, we're fighting also as well in Europe and European Union, you know, it's a lot of negative things, you know, coming on us because we have to fight this. But I still feel that the human here has a little bit more value than in US, you know, and that's why maybe I find my home back here because I loved it so much. I loved New York City so much, you know, all the creative people, all the versatility of humankind, and how everybody from all religions and all everybody comes there. It's like a little universe on its own, and it functions fine. There's no wars, and people have different religions, different attitudes, you know, and also it's like some kind of vegan mecca, you know. This is also something that I love. And this is where I discovered fruitarianism in the freaking Manhattan in East Village. You know what I mean? This is where it came to me, right? Yeah, it's great. So it must be something that we can really live as a whole planet, like really join our forces and really overcome these obstacles, big obstacles that are coming our way because of this greed and like this primitive vibrations that we were living in. You know, so I'm so excited and thankful to you for this interview and just you know, just being there, you know, like I get really pumped up.
At the end of the day, I'm excited, like for these changes that you're talking about, like because I'm 30 years young, I've seen a lot, and it's something where I see the changes on the daily. I mean, even you know, my field is like in farming, and my passion is, you know, produce and understanding all of this because it's what I'm passionate about. So like right now we're at 9% of organic, you know, sales is where we're at as a whole, right? 9%. That used to be 0%. You know what I mean? To me, that's huge. You know, so it's like
that's a big difference.
Those numbers are growing every year. People are interested. Like the celery juice is crazy. People are buying celery like crazy right now. It's awesome. You know, it's so awesome.
But you know what? This is something like celery juice. You know, I don't know. Like my uncle has a farm. Also, they also grow celery. Celery really has to be organic and grown like a wild to get all this potency. You know, like if you make it like a big culture, like for instance strawberries, right? Like strawberries, you know, or tomatoes that grow like on the water, just fixed with like chemicals in there. You know, you really have to understand that there's a celery juice and there's a celery juice, you know. And for, you know, for me it's like also this a lot of sodium and all this stuff that it's also in the celery. Like I always like just naturally go after fruits before, especially in the morning. I feel this works for me better. Except if you like growing your own celery, then I'm all for it, you know, like go crazy on it, right? So this is, but I'm like you said, like this is opening little doors, little things, you know, and doesn't matter what it is. It's like we're really like growing as a species, and I'm very optimistic. I'm very hopeful for us, but I really hope that, you know, people like us do have enough of a ripple, enough of the effect of the wave, you know, to win this, because otherwise it's not going to be good, you know. And it's
going to take some time, but I'm totally confident. I really don't have a doubt in my mind because you got to think about, like, you know more than I do, like that, you know, pharmaceutical like there's no there's no new thing. You know what I mean? Like technology, well, look at this thing we're using right now. You know what I mean? It's like technology is so powerful now that I don't think people are buying that anymore. I don't think people are going to buy into that new, fix. You know what I mean? And people right now are turning back to nature, turning back to what's real, what's something that's not, modified or changed and altered in some way. And I think that's really what's, hitting home at the end of the day. And the sad part is the reality is that stuff is almost gone. Like you're talking about, it's like we're stripping that, from the land itself. And we're living in a world where, like for me, I'm in California. I have to drive 1,500 miles to go to Alaska to be in a place that is actually environmentally rich and you can breathe, oxygen from the air.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Something that simple is overlooked. Right here, I'm in a very toxic city in LA, and it's environmentally, I feel it every single day. And I have to add that to my toxic load and do more juicing and more fruits and more. And I shouldn't have to do that. You know what I mean? I should just be a normal person, just hiking and enjoying life. You know what I mean? So a lot of this stuff we've done to ourselves. You know what I mean? We've done it to ourselves, and I think people are tired of that, and they're looking for that alternative. And someone like yourself or anybody, could be that spark for that change, because people, they basically just need options. I think we live in a world where it's like, okay, people, chemo, you don't have to do that. It's something where, people just need options. That's all. And we live in a time now where those are available to us. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. All right. Well, did you want to send anybody? Just plug your email or your website, and let's send people your way. And talk about your service.
You know what? Like I don't know. Like probably if you go on my website, you can read about it. But like I named it Orangehelia because when I was a kid, I would heal myself with oranges without even knowing it. Right? As when I was 4 years old, that was the first time I had a strep throat, and I somehow said to my mom, like, I want oranges. Can you bring me oranges, And she would bring me that, and next day I was just totally normal. Yep. Just totally, like nothing happened. So and it's amazing when I think back. That's why I was like, oranges are the one that helped me out. Because normally, you have strep throats and you're sick mostly in the winter, right? Yes. If you relatively, I was quite sick often, but it was mostly in the winter with all this like sinuses and all this stuff. And now, oh my God, like it just... Forget about illnesses. I don't even know how it feels to be like, how to have a flu. I don't remember even.
The best, and that's the beauty of it. It's like, this is what I call just tools on the tool. But like if, something did happen, it's like, what to do. You don't need somebody else. You know what I mean? I think that's, at the end of the day, our potential, our gift, as a human being. And it's like, yes, when I have a sinus thing going on, or when I feel my lymph system is not really where it should, I know what to do, and I'm confident.
And no more fear. No more fear, You're not fear-driven anymore, and this is also very beautiful. Yeah. So I'm just gonna you just put it underneath the video if you want to. The links, I'll send you something. But otherwise, this is, to me, this is enough of a reward. I'm so happy to be talking to you.
Yes.
And you know how they say, if we're vibing at the same time, you enhance this vibration. You make it bigger and stronger.
Yes.
So this is what is happening. Even if we're really far away, we're very close, and this makes me so happy. You know.
Me too.
Thank you so much for everything you do.
Yeah, you as well.
Very appreciated.
Yes, me too.
Very appreciated.
It's just good
Big
to connect.
Kiss. Yeah, big kiss and say hi to your family. I know you have a lot on your plate soon.
Yes.
I don't know if you're gonna have even time for videos so much, but maybe maybe even more, right?
Yes.
Maybe even
Later, I'm gonna take
really,
some
really
time.
excited.
I'm gonna take some time off, but during that time, I always love just getting into the Jensen books, getting into. I'm just that guy who's constantly researching and constantly educating myself. So
same here.
It's just something.
Never ends.
It never ends. It's just amazing. So it's because I'm excited about it. It's nothing that I could, even not do if I wanted to.
Yeah, you can't help yourself.
I can't.
You have to do it.
I can't. I can't just turn on the TV and be entertained. Like a Robert Morris video entertains me. It's something where it makes me feel good because I know I'm connecting with somebody on my level. So and that doesn't mean any judgments to anybody too. I don't want to give into that duality. I'm really about conscious language and people. I'm really just trying to use my words in the best way because I think people, I don't want to come off as like, oh, I'm better, you should do this. I made that mistake in the first couple years of like the vegan police, and you're just telling everybody what to do, and blah, blah. I learned so much from that. So it's something where, to see this come full circle, and I just feel confident, in my belief and the iridology in particular, because out of everything and anything that I've studied, and I've studied a lot of things, iridology just makes the most sense. I don't even have to think about it. Like, I just don't have to. To me, it's people's opinions kind of get in the way, and all I have to do is see your eyes. That's it. That's all I need.
Yeah.
I don't need any words. I don't need anything from you. Yeah.
But sometimes it's so hard for me to explain, for instance, like why your eyes, right? Because they're connected to the brain. It's basically extension of your brain, and everything basically reflects from your body in your brain, because it's without the brain nothing will work, right?
Yeah.
So but once people understand this, it's really, really easy for them to understand. I mean, when I hurt something, like you can actually immediately see in your eyes the same thing. If nothing else, it's going to be like little vein in the sclera, like becoming more red. And this is incredible, like to see this, like when you're paying attention, you start to see this like in a real time, right? And it's incredible. It's very inspirational. So I'm happy that you're passionate about it too. And Jensen books like this, like crazy. Like sometimes there's just like insane what you find in there.
I know that man.
Little treasure.
So ahead of his time, these people I'm just so thankful for, because they've given gifts to humanity and really, figured it out and created a system for us to, make it easier. So I'm very thankful for these people. Yes, very much.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to let you get to bed. I want to take any more time.
Yeah, it's midnight here. I'm telling you, I'm like all ready to go. I can go another 2 hours like yourself.
I know.
It's the powers. We have the powers, sorry. Yeah. And it's also like, when you find a special person, it's hard to say goodbye. I know that it's always hard, but like,
there's no goodbyes.
We're connected. There's no goodbyes.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
Yes.
And I'm here always,
Yes,
if you need somebody to support you, or for the baby or the mama or something like that.
I appreciate that.
I'm here, okay?
I'm so excited.
Been around, this age does count for something.
Oh yeah, no, it's good. It's good to have references like this on this level, because we're probably experiencing the same work on the day to day. So it's it's good to bounce ideas off each other and things, because it's a lot of repeating things that I see with clients and stuff. So I know you get probably a lot of the same thing, and it's all about that power, that willpower, and you do it too energetically. Like you give that to them in the beginning. I do the same thing, and it really. It really perks people up, and it gives them that confidence that they need in order to take the herbs and try new things, and start doing green juice instead of coffee, and things like that are very profound in the beginning, but just a few months and it's like you're a new person. Like it's just that easy. So it's just awesome to see the work being happen in real time. Yeah.
We're doing it. Yeah. We're getting this positivity. We're gonna change this planet. Like we have to. There's nobody else. I feel like it's our duty, right?
Yes, 100%.
I mean, it's tough sometimes, but we can do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Have
a good night, okay?
Good night. Blessings.
Soon.
Yes. See you soon.
See you too.
Good night.
You're great. Thank you so much. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.